We're back to recap.
Jordan blah, 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 blah. Stuff about racism, blah, blah, blah.
Jordan Peele likes power metal.
Blah, blah, blah. White people suck, blah, blah, blah.
That's not true.
Okay, we're back with the podcast. We have lost Daniel and we have lost Meg, but we have not gained anyone new.
That's
so
2 white people down. 5 more to go.
Oh, shit.
6 more to go.
What are you doing with that knife?
So, I mean, I guess let's... I know that, Scott, you said there's some topics you wanted to... some things you wanted to say.
Well, one of the things that I thought was interesting is earlier on we had brought up the fact that it was inspired by the Stepford Wives.
Yeah, that's what I've read.
Okay,
so,
and you know what? It's interesting because I was having this thought while I was watching the film. And that was one of the films that came to mind. Mm-hmm. The other film, though, that came to mind when I was thinking about it was The Wicker Man. You have that same kind of feel where you have this person who is led, seduced almost really into coming to another location
by a woman.
Would you not seduce Nicolas Cage? Who would not seduce him?
We're actually talking about the original.
There is no original one! Only Nicolas Cage!
Edward Woodward, who I would seduce, yes.
Sorry.
But he's brought here by another person, and yes, I would seduce Nicolas Cage, because, hey, he's Nicolas Cage.
He was Ghost Rider!
Damn straight. Oh. But you haven't brought... They're brought to this fairly isolated area. There's
this
place. Other tribe, or in this case, family, that you know something's off about, but there's something hidden there, but they don't immediately seem threatening, and you slowly, as the audience, see the jaws of the trap closing, but the main character doesn't really identify it till it's too late, really.
Yeah.
And I think that was a really interesting thing, and I'm pretty sure that had to have been an influence from what I could see. I mean, I was thinking, I just thought that was an interesting point that hasn't been touched on.
Yeah. See, my problem for me is like, okay, Jory watched and reviewed Rosemary's Baby, and I watched it with her, and she did not like it. And the reason why she didn't like it was because you were literally like 10 steps ahead of the main character. Mm-hmm. So everything this main character did, you're like, you're a fucking idiot.
Yes.
We know this. That's how I felt with this movie.
Yeah.
Everything that was happening, it's like, yeah, that's going to happen. Oh, wait for it. Oh, there it is. It's like, to me, it was, I didn't get...
Yeah.
From the get-go, I kind of knew what was going to... Not the whole thing, of course, but it's kind of like, okay, this is what's going to happen. Okay, you brought up the racism thing right away. The family's going to be racist. Oh, look, you have a bunch of people... Oh, they're going to sell them off like stock. That was my thing. Maybe to the... quote-unquote average viewing audience, they didn't catch the slow clamping jaws, because the old ones, like the Stepford Wives and the Wicker Man, you didn't initially see it. You were kind of like, what the fuck is going on here? These people are just fucking nuts.
But now we're seeing, if you're familiar with that background, like Rosemary's Baby, when I saw the movie, it was even more apparent for me, to me, because I had read the book as well.
Yeah.
I read the book before.
So it's like, it's a double whammy. I know and the movie follows the book very closely in that case.
Very close.
But I think that you're right, and it's worth keeping in mind that in the 1970s, I think that was, in a lot of cases, a newer technique.
Yeah.
Now you've seen it. We've had distance, especially if you're a horror fan.
Yeah.
You know what to expect. Maybe for a newer generation, this might be a newer thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For someone who's seen as many horror movies as I have, I was sitting there literally yawning throughout the movie going, oh, really, come on. So,
but I think at the same time, you could also see it as a guy who... What's the word? When you put it in that perspective, it does seem a bit cliche. But at least he wasn't as dumb as the guys from Hostel, who just who knew that you probably shouldn't go in there.
But we're going to go anyhow.
Yeah. This movie, they gave the opportunities, like, once again, you didn't know what you were getting yourself into.
But at least with Hostel, they kill off the person you didn't expect them to kill off. The guy didn't come away unscathed at all.
Which one?
He did. The one who got his finger cut off, and the one who tried to save the girl, who didn't end up saving the girl.
I kind of knew she was going to die.
But the thing is that this guy didn't come out clean, in the sense. And yes, the guy from here didn't either, but he also confronted his demons to an extent, and came out with his best bud going, see, I told you were dumb.
Yeah, but at least
in Hostel, it felt more threatening to me.
I was a little like disgruntled because I'm like, okay, you guys are getting laid every hour on the hour. Why do you need to get laid even more? How many guys get this opportunity? Not many. And now you guys got fucking greedy. You went over to a place you never heard of from a guy who just drugged 2 people in the moments of them having sex, and you're just gonna take his word for it. You get into that shit. You got yourselves caught up in that stuff, and then you guys, and then you escape. You escape, and then all of a sudden you see these guys. You see the same people who fucked you over. You managed to kill them, and then you managed to also somehow at the very end of the movie kill the guy who also tried to kill you in the near
You
the
also
field.
have to remember, you said it yourself. What happened? They got greedy.
Yeah.
That's the point of it. They
That's
got
dumb.
greedy. They never had, but that's the way human beings are.
But if
People will never have enough, and they will sit there and push and want more. Yeah, you got sex every hour on the hour, but it's with the same people. Why don't they go over here? They do crazy shit over there.
But how can you trust a guy who drugged them? Who drugged a couple other people? I would be like, hey, wait a second.
Because if you've got drugs on you like that, you know where the party is, apparently.
But that's the thing, is that it's all about access. That's why they were there.
The way I saw it,
This guy,
they
it
deserved
was
to
set
die
up
for being that gullible.
Yeah, and this guy deserved to die for not recognizing right off the bat that shit was wrong.
Well, now, hold on.
He waited till literally the end of the movie to go, get the keys, get the keys,
Yeah,
get the keys, get the keys.
Yeah, he was very skeptical. He tried to actually have some sort of like, okay, maybe it's just my imagination. I don't know what's going on.
But after seeing the people act the way they did, the phone consistently get disconnected, and all the shit that just went crazy, he should have left halfway through that movie. Plain and simple.
I don't know. I
I'm
think
not sure I agree with that because technically when he leaves,
in-
it is
okay, in all
halfway through the
fairness.
movie. At
But
least
if-
halfway
In all
through
fairness, Jason,
the day,
if people left just for being because somebody else is strange, we'd be out of here right
But what
now.
I'm saying is he brought up the same thing with
But-
Hostel, though.
Yeah,
And I'm trying to put this in the same
yeah.
perspective of, yes, when people act freaking weird, you should leave that situation.
But the difference
no
is,
one does.
The difference is he had to also decide if I leave my girlfriend.
Yes, but
I have to break up with her.
But he
if
did
that
say
comes-
that to her, remember? And then it still took him another, like, 1/4 of the movie to actually say, yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Which in
Wait, but Doug
maybe
did
1/4 of the
no,
movie,
no,
but
no,
in,
no, I
in
think-
movie
yeah,
time, that would be a couple of hours, maybe a few
yeah.
hours.
No,
so
no,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
that long of a time frame, really.
I was gonna say, I think Zev has hand up though.
Like,
I'm sorry.
There's 3 things here. Number 1, the setup seems cliche because it's like, well, it's the setup. It's not the reveal. The reveal isn't, oh no, these people are racist and crazy. Like, that's not the turn. It's like, it's not something that's an unknown.
Yeah.
So it's not like with Rosemary's Baby or some other movie where you go in and you're like, these strange things and unexplainable things are happening, and the whole mystery is, why are they happening? He doesn't care. Like, that's not what his main gripe is. It's like, I'm going to be around white people. I expect them to be weird. I expect them not to act the way that I act. I expect them not to do or be into any of the same shit that I'm into. They've already asked me a bunch of completely racially insensitive, ridiculously weird-ass questions. So as far as he's concerned, they're weird.
Yeah, he did say
They
that.
are
That's
just
true.
fucking
He did say that
weird.
to the blind guy. He did say to that.
Yeah, right. So for him, it's not that they're acting strangely. He's just writing that off. Like, if I walked up and my pants were half hanging off my ass and I was grabbing myself by the nuts and I'm like, what up, bitches? Like, you would you write that off as, oh, that just must be how black people act if you had no exposure to other black people? The thing is, there is a presumption of either blandness or weirdness from black people in regards to white people.
Yeah.
We just expect you to either be lame, or, if not lame, just fucking weird. Like,
In all fairness, I am lame and weird.
Yeah, I was going to say, I fall in both those categories.
Wait,
But
no,
you're awesome.
That's wrong because here's the deal: you actually shout, unlike some of the white people that I've hung around
Right.
with that are like, oh.
yeah, like,
That's what they're all like, huh? I mean, you were doing an impression of me, weren't you? I was going, oh.
I actually went to I went to a Christmas party and me and Marie were just like, what the fuck?
Did they really laugh like that?
No,
That'd be
but it was
amazing if
they
did.
were, but it was very posh environment. We're like, we need to get the fuck off.
And like
But that
even
wouldn't necessarily be a race thing. That might be a class thing.
That's more classic.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Very classic.
I'm white, and I feel uncomfortable in those situations.
Oh hell yeah!
Where I'm just like going, wow,
Okay,
I
like,
really do not fit in.
Can someone get a fiddle? Because we need to start dancing.
Yeah.
I don't care who plays the fiddle. They all play it.
the other thing is like even the black people that are behaving weirdly, looking at the way they dress, it's like, okay, obviously they are a part of this society, so their weirdness may just be the same social weirdness that everyone else is kind of into. We've all, like, I guess the personification of that is like Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, he's black, I understand he's black, but he's the fucking whitest black guy I know.
Yeah.
So it's just
like
maybe,
you, so like
maybe
you.
they're just whitely black. Yeah, more or less.
What'd you say?
He's the whitest black person I know. Actually,
I just look down and then I
Actually, that's
remember that I'm black and it's perfectly fine. So the overall or the overarching point is that for him, it's not moments where he's like, I gotta get the hell up out of here. For him, what's up? It's the odd part is
Somebody fits.
hold on 1 second. Hold on. Everyone.
Yeah.
If you want to slide down. No.
Yes,
See where you are. Have an extra chair. Orlando, move it down a chair. Zeb, move down a chair, and you guys can sit there.
No, that works.
No, I just
You go
want
ahead and take that because I'm gonna
No,
go.
no, no. See, I know some
I
things.
don't like the fan.
oh my legs. Do you want to switch sides?
Is it because they're
No.
black?
Because you'll be not where the fan is. That is a thing.
No, it is a thing.
Sure, going
Yeah.
once.
Oh, you're gonna sit next to me, Zeb? Yeah. Damn right.
You're out of my great goose.
Here, you might need this.
Really? He's black. He's bigger than this. You just
Yeah, that hand is gonna do nothing for me.
don't put it near Bruni.
Other side of the table.
When did someone put brown
See, I
nail
have
polish on? Oh.
Of course you do.
All right, hey Jason, look over there. Hey Jason.
Actually, it's supposed to be below the waist.
I know, but yeah, it doesn't work here.
Oh,
Okay, so as you were saying,
like I was saying, the other part of it is that, like I said, that's just a presumed weirdness because these people are all part of the same community.
yeah.
So there are red flags, but those are behavioral red flags for a group of people. So it's like maybe they're just weird. They're not acting like cultists. And they're not doing like, you don't see them all standing around like in robes and shit. They're like,
White robe.
there's no eyes wide shut shit going on. So
I will ask this though, and this seems I like the movie, but I did have this one question. Why do you have an operating theater? And in operating theaters, the guy's having the brain surgery. He's probably going to be given some oxygen. Usually that goes on.
Why have fucking candles?
Why would you have candles all the
Yeah.
fuck over it? I mean, seriously,
guys,
what was with that?
can we all just agree that this is all the prequel to show what happened to the stapler guy from Office Space?
yeah.
Oh
Somehow he got his
Stapler.
side back.
Damn, that's how I believe you have me thinking.
I get what you're saying by that,
Milton,
but at the
no.
same time, if you can break down and deconstruct like Hostel, you can do it with other movies just like this.
You
and
can.
say the red flag should be there. It's that disconnect that you shouldn't have. And my problem was throughout this movie, I consistently had that disconnect. And it was mainly because of the comedy. The completely unnecessary, stupid comedy. They were building good tension, and they were like building stuff up. It was like, oh, this is getting okay. Oh,
Yeah.
fuck. Really? Really? We need this much
Actually,
fucking comedy?
I mean,
Well, the comedy
I
always
actually
seems
have
to
to
come
agree
from the
with you on
TSA
this.
guy, too.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
and that's what I'm
and-
saying.
yeah.
I hate modern horror movies that do that. We
We
just
just had
can't
this.
keep
We
consistent
talked about
tension
this.
throughout a fucking film.
Yeah.
We gotta break the tension so no one kills themselves.
One thing
called
that I will say,
suspension of disbelief.
one thing I will say though is I did like the build on a lot of modern
Yeah.
horror. You know, they feel the need to start gutting people out of the gate,
Yeah.
and that detracts from the movie to me.
It wasn't
When
about
I
the
see
body count.
Yes, when I see a horror film, I don't care if it has a high body count. I want a good story out of it first and foremost. Just slashing people left and right doesn't do it for me. This had that build,
But it
which I
kept
do.
breaking it with stupid comedy.
I like the comedy.
Well, no, what I was going to say
course you
with
do.
with the comedy and the whole thing you were talking about, I could see it coming a mile away that he was in a dangerous place and so forth, and yeah, I mean, I could too, and we know the trailers and stuff like that. But I think what kept me with it, surprisingly, because that's kind of my fear. I thought I would get bored of this really quick, but what kept me with it is that in the situation is how much do they disguise it just enough where it's like, okay, this dude has heard this a million times. He's heard like someone, white guy, try to blend in and be cool and really suck and then be a little racially insensitive, and then just how far can they push it until he says, okay, this isn't just white people being weird, something's really legitimately off and crazy here. And I think, to me, that's where the comedy is the strongest. I tend to agree kind of with the TSA guy. I'm just like, okay, this is like, feels like a guy out of Transformers or something. But, like, whenever they're just doing sort of the, how far can they push these little hints? My favorite part, honestly, is when he first talks to the family, because a lot of it, you're kind of like,
There's something just a little
it's like, this could be taken that way, but it could not be taken that way too. That was my favorite part, just when he's first being introduced.
It was awkward
if
comedy.
you were to say this to like a cop and be like, hey, this is what happened, it's like, you couldn't say anything. You could be like, well, now I know what you're talking about. This person said this. It's like, no, everything could be taken with the benefit of the doubt. So that was my favorite portion. And then seeing how far that gets pushed, and after then it's like, okay, I kind of know this routine, and I like what it builds up to with the brain stuff and everything, because it's like, oh, I thought it was just going to be, we want to control these people. That's not it. They're putting their brains in there. So I like that little surprise. But yeah, what kept me with it was like when he said how they were going to do it, and how far can they push to where he says, okay, this is beyond just racially uncomfortable, some serious weird shit is going on.
That comedy I loved because it was like uncomfortable comedy, where it's like, hey, what's going on? I like Tiger Woods, and you're like,
that's where I liked it enough. But
I liked that because it wasn't the whole, yo, what up, my nigga, blah 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 blah. That bitch is crazy. Oh, sex slaves.
Like the teacher from Fresh Prince.
It was
right on.
awkward.
It was like, come
awkward
on.
comedy.
It was unnecessary, and it really detracted from tension building. Oh, really? No, stupid comedy.
No, I actually agree with you 100% because I felt the same way. I felt like that. And my mom and I
Made it a
talk
little
about,
uneven,
we call it suspension of disbelief, and it's
And it
the reason
breaks
why
suspension of
certain
disbelief.
horror films
Work
just
better
never
than
did it
others.
for me
Yeah.
because I could never suspend my disbelief. And in this film, I was like,
you should like
okay,
Nightmare on
I'm
Elm
in
Street.
this,
We've
I'm
had
watching
this
this, I'm
discussion.
suspending my disbelief, and then the guy would come out and he would say something stupid, and I'd be like, really?
Yeah.
And I felt like it pushed me back out of the film.
Exactly.
But I would say that the awkward comedy when he meets his family works because it is awkward and it feels like we're trying to bond with this guy, but we're shitty at it.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have no idea how to bond with people. Certainly not black people.
Yes.
Well, I have two
Oh,
questions.
actually, hold on. We have new people joining the table.
did
Since
they
we
come
lost
in?
2 people, we now have gained 2 people. Who do we have here?
This is Fitz.
He can say it himself, you know.
My name is Muted.
And this is John Bruni, and I have a couple of questions for you.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I'm kind of startled that we're considering this a horror movie. I think it's a satire.
I agree. Thank
It's
you.
both.
Well,
It can be both.
I did
easily.
not
You could
find it to
also
be a
argue
horror
it falls
film
under
either.
thriller. We were talking
Yeah.
about that
It
as
did
well.
not feel like a horror film to me either.
But
I agree.
number 2, because how long has this been going on?
Well over like about 2 hours.
I'm very sure.
But there's been breaks. There's been quite a few breaks.
Did I miss the race riot?
Oh,
No, not yet.
That
We've
was
been
like
actually
the
pretty good
theme
about
song.
it.
Wait, there was something racial going on in this film? Could you
I thought it
cover
was
that?
all
I
about
completely
women.
missed it.
I thought it was about women and how inferior
We
they
were just
are.
talking about subtext the whole time.
Pretty much.
I didn't notice any racism.
Yeah, not at all.
No.
I didn't know any racism.
I don't see
Guess
color.
it starts now.
Mostly because I'm colorblind, but
Oh,
Now, I
are
do
you
want to
really?
say this.
Not really.
Another thing that I really hated about this movie
That
was
shirt
the
is
brother.
Yeah.
Well, it was
I hated the brother.
Oh, he
Gingerbread
kinda
Pit?
seemed
He was,
un-
yes, that's exactly what I thought.
He seemed
I don't know. I have
He was the most, like,
No, because he's all creepy crazy.
he was trying
Who's the
way
Who's the brother?
No, remember
The black guy!
Wait, what?
That's my brother.
The comic
Oh.
relief.
No,
No,
his
the one that wanted to fight him.
Rose
the
is
table,
brother.
one that headlock.
I
Here's
thought-
the thing.
Hold on.
The white guy.
Rose's brother.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No, my issue is.
You gotta be
that,
careful.
What
I
is
don't
his
know
name?
what brother
Gerald?
you're referring to.
His character name
Jeremy, I
is
think?
Jeremy.
He looked like Heath Ledger got a beat down.
Well,
But he
here's-
acted like he was Brad Pitt. But my issue with him was...
he
was
acted like
gingerbread
he
Pitt.
wished
Thank
he
you
was
very much.
Brad
I wouldn't-
Pitt.
I'm not saying he was.
I wouldn't even say that though. It was more like, here's what bothered me about him. He's in
I
this
think that's the one
family.
I said bothered me about him.
Well, I know. Okay, well, go on, and then I will retort.
No, what bothered me about him was that it was like, okay, we're trying to bond. Look at me, I'm the crazy one. Look at me, I'm doing crazy shit throughout this entire film. I'm crazy. Look at me, I'm the crazy one.
And it's kind of a play off.
Really?
No, it didn't fit. Yeah.
Let me get you in a headlock.
No, that's what I'm saying. It didn't fit. You're right.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you said you didn't
But-
feel that.
No,
okay.
I
No, we
agree.
agree
I
with you.
agree, but I agree, but in a little bit of a different way, because to me it felt like you have this kind of quiet Americana family,
Yeah.
or who they're supposed to be, and they're obviously upper class. The father's a surgeon.
Yeah.
The mother is a
Psychiatrist.
psychiatrist. The daughter is obviously going to college. And then this guy feels like he's...
The redheaded stepchild.
Well, not even redheaded stepchild. I'd say like straight out of Deliverance. He's like this country hick who's in this family for no apparent reason.
Now, to be
And that's-
fair-
I mean, even on the porch, he's playing a ukulele, and they're like,
my
what the
Lord, I
fuck
know.
was that?
To be fair, I've seen families with very successful people, and have gone long ways. And there is always kind of like that, that
There's-
the black
sure,
sheep
there's
and
the
stuff
black
like
sheep,
that.
yeah.
But from a cinematic point of view, yeah, I did get the
it was-
point.
It
of
would have been so much better if... Hey!
Hey,
Hey, James.
Give us a few moments, have a seat. It would have been so much better if he was the one that was able to bond with him to an extent.
that would have been interesting.
It's like, hey, how's it going? Then he's the one that turned out to be the most wacko of them all by finally letting that out. Every once in a while, he does play like the ukulele or whatever. Chris is like, okay, that's a bit weird. Why are you playing? Oh, family stuff, yada yada yada. And he's playing a really racist tune. Like the South theme, if you will. Something small
Like
and more...
dueling banjos?
Yeah, something small and subtle where it's like, okay, this guy's totally awesome. Wow, but if you're paying attention, he's actually probably the most devious and fucked up of all. But showing him from the get-go, I'm bonkers and crazy! It's
Yeah.
kind of like,
Yeah, you could have put a little more build into that tone.
that would have been so cool. But just the bonkers and crazy. Because, again, if he was more manipulative... and more like, hey, I'm total buds with you, I'm gonna protect you, don't worry, we'll get through this, man, I understand. And then stabbed him in the back, and then Chris beat the shit out of him, I may have cheered at that point in time. Because that would have been manipulation, cruelty. He didn't do anything before that at all.
But the thing is, you already have... I think they wanted to take it in a different direction, because you kind of already have that going on with his girlfriend.
But he didn't beat the shit out of her.
I'm here to protect you. This is my family. They're okay. Oh, yeah, it's nothing big. I don't know why they're doing this. And then, of course, the reveal, I've been in on this all along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I truly get why, but
I
it's so...
actually saw that coming, that she was in on it.
yeah.
So did I.
Yeah.
Once again,
But-
that goes
but
back to that
honestly-
Wicker Man
Okay, but
tradition.
here's the thing:
But-
knowing that it was predictable actually doesn't. That part doesn't bother me because, like when you read a book that has something that's predictable or cliche, sometimes it's the journey. You're watching the journey, not and that can be fun too. So watching it unfold to me can sometimes be just as exciting.
I like seeing
as
how convinced.
guessing
So you
how
compared it
it's
to
going
Rogue
to
One then,
unfold.
which is the only film I've seen this
Yeah.
year.
Right.
Because obviously you knew how that was going to end. Everyone was going to die. They announced
Spoilers!
Spoilers! Yeah, they announced Blue Squadron, and you're like, there's no Blue
I
Squadron.
can enjoy that. I can enjoy that in a film, but I do feel like the comedy, there were things that took me out of it and that bothered me because I was enjoying it and because I love a slow build up, I love atmosphere in a film, and then to say, oh, but I'm gonna throw in this stupid joke. It's like if somebody had farted and made a fart joke.
Yeah,
I'd been like,
it's like it's like if you're watching
God,
a
you
movie
had
in
me
the theater
until then.
and someone starts talking in the middle of it.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like to
Yeah.
me. You're watching it and some asshole next to you cracks some joke.
Oh, and then you're
And
like,
it's
thanks.
like, oh, I was really into it till you
Yeah.
said this stupid
Yeah.
shit.
Yes, thank you. Like
But I
my
couldn't-
husband at Lord of the Rings or something. Yeah.
I don't know why the Vulcans showed up during the Battle of Helm's Deep.
I do appreciate.
Yes, I did say that during
You
Lord.
did, and I was really enjoying that movie until then. Well,
it's like House of
surfing Legolas.
House of
which
a
is
Thousand
stupid.
Corpses.
Yeah.
That was so
The scene where the guy has the gun to the back of the head and the camera slowly pulls up and everything, it's dead silent.
Yeah.
Someone just said, shoot already!
Oh my lord, I would have been
I'm like-
pissed off.
And that's what it felt like.
Yeah,
That's what
and
it
I
felt
would have
like.
been angry because watching the reveal. That's some of the fun part of it,
Sure.
you know. Because even if you know what's going on, watching it's almost like this perverse glee you get from watching the person walk into the trap, and you're like, you're so dumb, you're walking in the trap, and I know you're walking in the trap. Let's see what's gonna happen.
And it's you, not me. Ha ha.
I'm fine with enjoying the journey,
Yes.
but when the journey is this painfully obvious and he doesn't divert
Yeah.
in any way, shape, or form, it's like,
Well, he does divert into one respect because, like Doug said,
what's the cotton in the ears?
No, I didn't actually see that there was this brain transfer thing. I thought they were just going to turn him into slaves, and I thought,
yeah.
well, that's
When-
actually kind of neat.
When Geraldine was looking in the mirror and she went like that, I'm like, oh fuck, they're taking their brains.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
I didn't
That's what
think
the
about
camera.
that.
He was looking at the camera and he just looked up in the window.
I didn't
And he
think
lifts,
When
she
she's
pulls
doing
back
this
her
and she's
hair.
looking at herself.
No, I didn't.
I was like,
see
oh,
that.
taking breaks.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
we looked
I didn't know they
I
were
didn't
taking
know
that.
that.
Was
We
just,
didn't
I
see
wasn't
it.
sure what they were doing.
Yeah.
Again, I've seen way too many horror movies for my own good. That's probably the fault for me, at
You're
least.
like, I know to look for the slit in the top of the head.
Because if you notice, all of them were wearing hats.
Yeah.
Every single one of them was wearing a
Well,
hat.
the one the maid.
She was wearing the hair.
She had
The hair was
Yeah,
down,
that's what I'm saying.
But that's what I meant. Everything was always covered.
They weren't quite as cool as Dark City that way.
No.
Dark City was a far better film.
That was a great movie.
This was good, but Dark City was far better.
Really?
Oh, I love Dark City. Did you not
Have you
like
ever
Dark
seen
City?
Dark City?
I did see Dark City.
You didn't like
Oh,
it?
I love that.
It's one of my favorites.
We'll talk about Dark City another time.
Yeah.
New people, what'd you think about the
Written
film?
by David Gordon.
Well, I really appreciate the way it's shot. It's absolutely beautiful, especially the scene where he is hypnotized.
That was actually that was really
That
cool.
was a fantastic.
That was really well done.
I was that was something.
I liked how he was the
Yeah.
kid and he sank into the bed. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
really
I guess
cool.
And the way they moved the camera around, I thought was
Yeah.
really, I agree with that.
I-
too,
Yeah.
so.
I really
Very
like
much
Jordan
so.
Peele's eye.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, look, something we all agreed on. Oh my
Like his
goodness.
eye.
The hypnosis sequences I
There's
thought were
something-
very
there's something in
interesting.
this.
How they did when he's just looking up at like this little window of the world, like he's
And I
almost
like how
looking
it's
through a
muted.
window, but he can't
Yeah. Oh, and
interact.
It's very muted. You can
Yeah.
still
Yes.
hear it, but it's very muted.
And it's
I'm
also
like,
slanted a little,
Yeah.
which I liked. I thought
Go
that
for
was
it.
a neat touch.
The first scene where he's hypnotized is really good, like the sound that it makes.
Yeah.
That was very, very grating at first, and then you realize what she's doing.
Oh yes.
And then
Yeah, I
just-
thought that was clever.
I really enjoyed this movie.
really?
I did.
That surprises the hell out of me.
I did.
Why? 'Cause
No,
he
I thought it was
doesn't enjoy
good.
No, because he's not black.
Oh,
There's the race riot villain.
So I guess 100% of people on Rotten Tomatoes were all black.
Yes, let's go off of a site called Rotten Tomatoes that used to be a joke site as our way to pick out movies.
Well, it's not a joke thing anymore.
Or is that the joke?
they're so
Oh,
It's actually all building up to the greatest punchline ever.
Actually,
We have waited for this movie for the final review.
Yeah, it's like, we actually hate
Wow.
movies, haha.
we
You know that grease splotch? We splooged on it.
they don't like critics either, then.
We hate you, Doug.
Sorry, go on.
There's also another scene that I really thoroughly enjoyed was the auction scene. When they're holding up the bingo cards. And he's very silently building up.
Yeah, and that was so clever because they say, "Let's go play some bingo," and you're thinking, would they be excited about bingo? Because they're all white people. Okay, funny, haha. And then when you see what they're
bingo-
doing with
what
the bingo
bingo
cards,
is.
Yeah.
it's kind of like this terrifying moment. Like, holy crap!
We gonna sell them.
I do because I like the slow pullback of the camera where you just see them and you see people hold. I'm like, but they both can't win bingo. That's weird. And then you see the picture slowly come into frame. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
The first thing that I noticed when they were holding up the bingo is my first thought is, so they're all holding up bingo, but they all have bingo exactly. There's no, when you play bingo,
There's dots here.
There's
here,
dots
there,
here and there. Instead, all their bingo cards are all filled out in one line. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the hell is that?
It was a really
yeah.
powerful.
I ain't never
movie
played
scene.
bingo before. So.
You're not missing much. You're not missing
Wait,
much.
you never played bingo?
No.
You ever played Pokino?
Yes.
Okay, it's like that.
It's an incredible game
It's
of
like
skill.
fucking Connect 4, but it's
Right.
Connect 5.
No, it's not even Connect 4. It's
I'm
just
kidding.
somebody shouts. It's like somebody
No,
shouts a
this is
number and
serious.
you each say it's war. That's what it is.
Replace
It's
Okino?
Okay.
Replace Okino?
You just wait for something to happen. It happens. If it happens in your favor, you win.
But here's the
Good
deal.
point.
No, that's
Okay.
Bunko you're describing.
1 to 15. I is from 16 to 30 and so on.
It doesn't matter. Just
It inquires.
Call the
math
number, you
and
put it on there, and you get 5 in a row.
Fuck that.
End of story.
I ain't signed up to do no math.
You know you black when you play Okino.
One more thing. I really enjoyed Stephen Root in this role.
Yeah.
What else was he in? I keep
Office
forgetting.
Space.
Yes.
He was-
Oh.
well, we were saying that
You
this
know
was
the
all
funny
just a
thing is,
backstory to the guy.
I watched this movie and I'm like, oh, he's playing a blind man again? Like he did in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, huh?
Oh, that's right. He
Yeah.
was in that. I forgot about that.
Yes.
Is he the blind Fury in Oh Brother Where
Yes.
Art Thou?
Yeah, he was the one
Apparently he is.
he was the one that was
He's
the
they own the recording studio.
yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Didn't even think of
Maybe
that.
he's actually blind.
He's playing the song, and he's playing
people that can
and he's
see.
blind. He's just like,
See?
that'd be fine.
So wait, who was he in Office
I hope you
Space?
guys recorded that.
Oh, so okay. I just thought that.
Well, you know, this is a
Yeah.
podcast
That's
on
what I
visual
understand.
It
media.
makes a little bit of sense, yeah.
He was great in that role.
yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that quite a bit.
I thought he was. I was very surprised by him because I thought when I first saw him, I thought like, oh, he's gonna be on the.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
What's the guy's name in the movie?
Chris.
I thought he was gonna be on Chris's side. Like, yeah, man, I'm on your side, man. These people crazy. These people crazy as hell. Bingo.
Yeah, you see him raising that car.
I'm on your side. Pretty soon I'm gonna be inside.
I just want to
you.
know really quickly, how was he able to know this when everything was silent?
What do you mean? Oh, because his assistant.
Shh, quiet! Stop ruining life!
Oh wait, that is.
My main thing.
No, she could be at like 10, maybe if it's like 10. Like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
I
6,
was
7, 8,
totally
9, 10.
kidding.
Like,
Wait,
how
hold on,
many-
hold on. The other
he
new
was-
person.
Yes.
Yelling out the numbers, so just because we didn't hear it.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't yelling out the numbers. He was doing his
like this.
Oh, the
hands.
five.
Yeah.
I thought he was saying it.
No,
too,
he was. That's yeah.
He was shoulder.
Look like he was.
New person.
The one part that got me kind of out of it was
I don't
you
like
guys-
him. He's talking too much. He doesn't agree with me. You're out.
See what I warned you about? Well, what was it? I want to know. I want to know.
The fucking scene where they were at the police station. That was completely unnecessary.
Oh yeah.
That part just fucking killed it. We're like, oh, here, come here, we gotta watch the story he's saying, and then everybody's laughing at him, and it took. The scene was too drawn out to me, where they kept laughing at him.
We're seeing a lot of scenes with the TSA.
Yeah, I mean,
Kinda like-
yeah,
They
exactly.
were too long. If they were really short,
Yeah.
that could have been okay.
Yeah.
But they were so long, like you said,
it was-
way too long.
All you had to have her do was go, I don't believe you, or bring me proof. You don't have to get 2 more cops.
Or
in there
halfway through the
Yeah.
story, quickly
Just-
call them in
and say,
and then do
this
it.
sounds like
you know?
bullshit, or this sounds like bullshit to me. The 2 cops you were talking about, removing your suspension of
Yeah.
disbelief, and that did stick out to
Yeah.
me.
And I like
That
Jordan
scene should have
Peele's
been cut.
comedy. I'm a fan of his show and everything, but it was unnecessary in this movie, and it just felt very awkwardly put in.
I feel so bad for like.
Well, I think he thought I'm a
No, don't feel bad for liking it.
Everyone's just like, I hate that motherfucker.
Honestly, I think I think it was just like it wasn't necessarily a throwaway, but it was more like
That's it. I think he
It was a
thought
side
that's
plot
a
that
strength
wasn't
that he was going to
necessary.
play to.
it seems like
and
that,
it, and it
but
really
it's like the
2 things that didn't mesh well. I think.
the big thing in horror movies, in any horror movie, which at the beginning when they hit the deer and he wants to go investigate, like the first thing out of my mind is like this is the worst thing you can fucking do.
Well, the thing is. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just, when I first saw that, I'm like, why is he even doing this? And I wish they had made clear just a little bit sooner in the film before that happened with the deer, because I didn't put 2 and 2 together till later on in the film when he really started taking pictures that he was a photographer. I think if they had established that a little more in the very opening,
Oh, you
that
mean like
would have
the
made
credits? When they were playing the pictures over the credits in his apartment?
You know what though? I didn't think he was a photographer right there.
Yeah, I just thought.
Have you ever been to like a
Yes.
film like school and everything? They have stupid pictures, those giant black and white pictures.
Yes.
Not an apartment and not all in the same style.
Watch
black
any
and white.
show. They always have stupid pictures of nothing on the wall that make no sense.
Yes.
No one in a house would have those.
Yeah,
Ever.
Yeah, you're right, unless you're a photographer.
Photographers don't have that stuff.
but okay.
Look, I'm having a dog going like this.
Yes, but the
Look, there's a kid in a mask. No!
but the I may have missed that because I think they were bringing my beer at that point, to be honest. But the point of it was, though, that it, at least from what I saw, it didn't really establish. I saw some pictures. I didn't realize those were supposed to be his pictures.
Really? I actually thought that he stopped for the dare later on when you find out that his mom's.
And I was going to say, I think that was like the primary motivation.
Yeah.
But
and actually, that's the thing for me. I don't think it was the photography. I think it was learning on later on that happened to his mom. That was the only reason why he went to look.
Okay.
So for me, it was kind of
that. Oh, that's true.
This is really odd. You're kind of a crazy fellow, but whatevs.
I do find it kind of weird. Like, why was it thrown? Because you could tell that.
No, it was. He was jumping. That's.
The deer was right.
Yeah, it was in the process, and then it hit its ass. Well, no, it actually hit its ass and then
spun into the woods. Yeah.
But yeah, the scene with the cops. There are two things with black people in horror movies. Number one, don't go investigate anything. It's just a fucking bad idea. And the other thing is that nobody calls the cops.
Well, yeah.
So I think, for me, him going to see the cops and then being like, oh, no, hell, that's fucking stupid. Like, that to me was just like, this is why we don't go to the police. And I think it was kind of more of a blatant thing for me. That's why it was in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I saw that as the point in them doing the scene to begin with.
I can understand that.
It
did kind of break the flow. So
way too long.
Yeah. So there, I can see your point, and I'm trying to figure out how they could have structured it better.
If it gets
the point across.
It could have been something really simple. It's him going in there, sitting down, and saying, "Well, here's what's going on. My friend, blah blah blah." Cut to him stepping out, going, "Those fuckers didn't believe me."
Yeah.
Something along those lines where it's like, he went to the cops, he tried it, done and over with. You don't need a gigantic comedy scene of him retelling it.
Or even if you're gonna do it, I mean, just have him starting to tell, there's a woman listening, cut back to him talking, then there's like maybe a few more cops, like you called him in, back to him talking, then a few more cops there, like it's getting bigger, like, oh, like more and more people are listening and getting into it, and then they laugh, instead of, you're right, he tells the whole story twice.
What I did like, though, I do have to say, is that upon the second time, he's embellishing more. I did like that because it's like, oh yeah, so totally this happened. I'm like, okay, that's how people do it. When you get a bigger audience, it becomes bigger. But at the same time, it's unnecessary.
Well, the other thing that I would say here is the way he's telling it. I understand his character is a little larger than life.
Little?
Well, compared to everyone else in the movie, yes.
And the dog was drinking. He allowed that dog to drink.
Okay, but beyond that, the character's larger than life as it is. Even if you're larger than life, if you're going to the police about something that's serious, you're not going to be making these goofy comments like, well, my boy. No, not my child. It's like... Can
I speak up on behalf of the black man? Well, no, that's something that I have seen is very common in black comedy.
Yeah.
Is that when stuff goes on like that, the characters are always larger than life. They're always... It doesn't matter if they're going to a very generic, stupid situation of, hey, how are you doing?
Well,
it's kind of, in the comedy, it's kind of always blown out of proportion.
Right, but this primarily isn't a comedy movie. It's a horror or thriller with some comedy parts to it. Yeah. And like you said, those parts do pull you out at times. And I think he needed to... If he's going to the police here and he's really worried about his friend... That needed to be dialed back. Because if you're going to go into the police like a maniac, they aren't going to take you seriously.
But that's what I mean. For him, for that character, that was dialed back.
You think so?
Like if you look at the way he's talking, he's like, oh, I didn't mean shit. Like that was my. But once he's like, okay, they believe me, or at least she's listening enough to get some more superiors in it. It's like, all right, they're taking me seriously. I can relax, and get into this. And then like his personality is more kind of just.
Yeah.
Blaringly, because he's like, oh, well, see, the TSA, personally, I think we have the same training. We might actually know more stuff than y'all do. And I'm like, really?
You know what that reminded me of? It reminded me of going back to, like, something like Beverly Hills Cop. Like the Axel Foley kind of thing, almost.
What I can see, and I would actually be interested if he made a sequel, but it's about that character. And him taking care of the dog, doing the research, going to the cops and everything, and finally getting to the end of the movie.
Like almost running a parallel?
Yeah.
That would be fun.
And have it as a pure comedy.
Now that would be fun. and
Doug's like, hell no!
Awful!
I know! I don't like this movie! Awful!
But but I think there would be a huge difference there because that would be the tone, and you want that, and you're going.
But then every once in a while, you'd have someone get stabbed.
Here we have things that.
Like you do.
Because here,
A comedy with some unnecessary horror.
Building tension and break.
I have my next movie. I'll make it right now.
Her next movie, which will be her. Let me get this.
Her first movie?
First, yeah.
Gotcha. I'm gonna go over here and do this. Stab, stab, stab.
Yeah.
Whatever.
A comedy with a little horror. That's what I'm going to call it.
That has to be unnecessary horror, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. My next movie title is a little comedy. A comedy with a little unnecessary.
Why does it simplify? It's called unnecessary horror.
Yeah. Hilarious.
I'll simplify more. Unnecessary movie.
No,
That's like date movie and
a thousand others.
That actually sounds like a Wayne's
that's
Brothers
just already.
right there.
Oh, the Wayne's brothers.
Don't be a menace to South Central.
Well, drinking your juice in the hood.
I heard that one was pretty good.
No.
No, it's
Actually,
not good.
yes.
I can't feel my legs.
It does have John Lovitz. Let's give it that.
Yeah, and so does High School High. But that wasn't good either.
You know what? Actually, I fucking
I like
love
John
High School High.
Lovitz.
That shit was
John
hilarious.
Lovitz is responsible for one of the funniest sequences I've ever seen. Have you seen Rat Race?
Is it going to be under the foul south out there?
Yes, that's the scene. I almost died laughing during
I'm
that.
prairie dog in here. Okay, any final thoughts or final things you want to say about Get Out? Anyone? Raise your hand.
Just
Fine, go ahead, Doug.
no, just about the I thought good, very very clever, gives you stuff to talk about. Not great, the 100% seems a little extreme, but I liked it. I thought it was a clever
So
movie.
you're saying in 90s extreme.
Extreme. Yeah, with an X.
Actually, okay, Amy, go ahead. Final thoughts?
Any final thoughts? It had a lot of stuff I did like, but I think it probably had a little bit more that I didn't care for, so it was a little meh to me.
Okay.
Kind of mediocre.
I'm just glad the dog didn't save the day at the end. I was waiting for the
thank
dog to run
God.
into the fucking car.
He was too drunk.
That would have been I would have walked out of the theater then. And I would have been like, you son of bitches.
Oh no.
My final thoughts. I would like more
I
Jordan
have
Peele
one
movies.
upstairs. Is that okay?
Yeah, so would I.
Okay. Orlando?
I thought it was pretty. I thought it was pretty unique and good idea.
Thank you.
Could have been done without the comedy, maybe, but I still like the fact that it was. You could tell you could tell that Jordan Peele just didn't want to just make something out of his ass. He actually had a good idea to the concept. So I give him credit. Outside of the racism, because I could look past that,
Yum.
it was pretty good, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah.
Yeah. There were just a bunch of layers to this for me. I loved it. Like I didn't see a good portion of it unfolding the way that it did. And there's a lot with the character development with certain subplots that I think went very well executed. I think that a lot of the way that it was filmed was done kind of brilliantly. And to see this guy's motivation, that the originator of this particular procedure, all being because he got beat out by a black guy for the Olympics. And him, because the scene of him just
I didn't
running
even think of that. You're right.
Yeah, all of it.
That's because you're white.
And the thing is that's the odd part, is that rather than him having this reaction of resentment from that loss, it's like, I want to be that rather than I want to beat that with baseball bats and hoses throughout the rest of the 70s. So for me, it's all the admiration for black people and how it's just so utterly fucking turned around on its head that makes it so good for me. And the hypnotism just makes it that much better. So I think personally this was not a perfect movie, but I think it was really original, very well done, excellently shot, extremely good plot, and a very good way to put commentary on there where it's not just about white privilege or just racism or just social perception. I think there's a lot that it says about the admiration for black people and black culture, which, this is the ultimate form of cultural appropriation. Because it's now I can do whatever I want,
Yeah.
except not get pulled over.
I didn't like it. I thought the concept was cool. I thought the idea was neat. I thought a lot of the shots were really cool. I thought 2 of the actors did a great job. I thought Daniel Kaluuya? I can never say it, I'm sorry.
You had it right the first
No,
time.
I can't say it.
Danny Cunnilingus, yes.
Yes. I thought he was great. I thought he was really good. For the most part, when he had terror in his eyes, he showed it. And he did it really well. But other than that, he was kind of really bland. I love you. I swear I love you. Oh, I love you. I didn't feel it. I didn't feel any other feeling other than fear. And he pulled off that fear so well, though.
I think that was more his character. I mean,
I don't know.
After
In the
his mom
beginning,
died, he seems very emotionally closed off.
But the first shot of them in the apartment, they looked like an actual loving couple, kissing and hugging. But once they got in the car, it just kind of all faded. And maybe it was nervousness of the character, maybe it was something else.
It's like
but I didn't buy their relationship after that initial introduction of them.
I hear you. I'm just saying, for me, I thought that was more the character, like, not being in a vulnerable position where he has to open up.
I gotcha.
Or especially around other people when you find out why he's as closed off as he is.
That's a really good point about the relationship, because you have that opening, and then after that, it's not like it's non-existent, but it's not as strong. And I'm thinking, wouldn't the twist at the with her, even though we could see it coming, wouldn't it be even more of a big shock if it turns out that's a phone going?
Not mine.
Oh, it's yours.
Job, Zeb. Right while I'm talking.
Well, wouldn't that have been an even bigger surprise if, like, that love, that they really focus on those loving scenes and, like, really took time to, like, have it be more of a realistic, charming relationship like how it was in the opening? Because you're right, because after then, it's like, it's not that it's not there at all.
They barely hold their hands.
Yeah, they barely kiss or do
that
anything
relationship
like that.
I didn't feel existed. So when she betrayed him, it was like, and they already didn't love each other. So there was a huge disconnect. And I wasn't a huge fan of Allison Williams' acting in that. She was fine, but it was kind of like, meh.
When she smiles, she looks like Kathy Ireland.
I never noticed. Alien from L.A. There you go. But who was it? Oh my God, the dad. Dean Bradley Whitford.
Yes.
I thought he was actually really good. I liked him. I mean, he wasn't phenomenal, do not get me wrong. But I did like every time he kind of looked at stuff, he had that, like, yes, I'm thinking, but I'm an evil bastard. Yes, look at me, look into the fire. Yes, I'm an evil bastard.
There's one thing that kind of pissed me off. And it has to do with marketing. Because the way that line is set up about voting for Obama for the 3rd time, that's blown in the coming attractions. Which, it's funny in the coming attractions, but when you realize what they're setting up in the story, that kind of pissed me off.
Yeah, I can see that. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, some people did really good in it, and the rest were just incredibly bland. And I didn't buy it. I didn't buy even them being like, oh yeah, I really like Tiger Woods. He is such a good golfer. Like, I just didn't buy it. It felt like they were just reading lines and they weren't even trying to not sound racist, but they weren't trying to not sound racist. Do you know what I mean? I wish they were trying to not sound racist. That would have been funny and, like, more awkward. But yeah, I think Jordan Peele did a great job. Like, I think his idea is cool. It was a very cool idea. I just don't think he pulled it off very well. I think he needs more fine-tuning, and I can see him doing so much better down the line, but for the first one, it was very awkward and jilted for me.
Okay, I'm going to go on and say I like this film. I do think you're right that it was a good film, not a great film as far as I'm concerned. There were flaws. Like, we've talked about the comedy. There were certain things that, like I said, just kind of didn't mesh well for me. But that being said, I think one of the things that it really deserves props for is a lot of times we watch horror films and, they're just fun slasher flicks or whatever. Now, occasionally you do get social commentary, Dawn of the Dead or whatnot, but I think this is one that it really did try to tackle social commentary head on, almost more outside of a couple films, more directly than almost any I can think of. And I think that's kind of a bold choice, especially for somebody's first film to do
And
it
who
in
mainly
this way.
deals with comedy too.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that that's part of the flaw of this film, that because he does deal mostly in comedy, when he wrote this, I think it was almost like a plan B. Okay, well, if the horror aspect doesn't work, well, then there's a little funny thing in here for everybody, and it basically pulled away from his A game. If he had rewritten that character a little more, and not put comedy in there, but toned it down a little, I think it would have worked a little better. But overall, I'd say 3 stars. I liked it.
Well, we'll get the rating at.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
But I liked it.
Vince, anything or you? Yeah. Okay.
Just listen.
Douglas.
I started off.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot. Okay, rating. Skull to 4. Skull being the worst, 4 being the best. No halvesies.
No halvesies?
No fucking halvesies. That's bullshit.
If I can't do halvesies, I'll say 4. I'll
Okay.
say 3.5. But
Were you gonna go 4?
Irrational numbers?
yeah. What's that?
Yeah, how about an irrational number? You know, like pi or...
I'd be okay with
Negative pi.
Damn, that's pretty
Negative pi skulls.
Amy?
I'd say give it a 3.
I'll go 3.
I will go with 4.
I too will go 4.
4.
I'm gonna go. I put up 2, and I was gonna go with 2, but now I think I'm just gonna go with 1 to be an asshole.
Just because you have one doesn't mean you have to share it to your world.
Oh no, I love sharing my asshole to everyone. No, I'm gonna go 2.
Because Jason said no, that we can't do halves, I'm going to go 3 1/4.
I was waiting for that.
Actually going at 3 3/4.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. What do you go though?
That's a half with a quarter.
No in between Z's. No in between Z's.
3.
Okay. Any final thoughts before we're out of here? Anything you want to plug? Anything you want to say? Yada yada yada. Please say it now. Starting with Doug. Anything you want to plug or do anything?
Plug your mouth. You talk too much.
Sorry, Amy.
Nope, I'm good.
I was told I can listen to the radio at a reasonable value.
Okay.
TalesOfQuestionableTaste.com.
LandoCal15 on YouTube. Subscribe.
Like and subscribe and ring the bell.
Oh God.
Ching chong jump.
Bomb Ass Stories 2 available on Amazon as well as Bomb Ass Stories 1 this week.
If you're listening to this, you're already on the site, so it doesn't matter.
I have no plugs.
HordeViewing.com.
Thanks for listening in. Hopefully we'll do another one where we actually go see a movie, and we'll have some of these guests back. This has been Forced Viewing, watching Get Out, piece of shit movie. I see you
Get out.
I see you people love you. Oh, it didn't even record.